Hello, welcome to. I'm actually going to switch off my monitor so that easier. Welcome to a bit of a special day because this is number 52 that I'm recording today. Since I release these one a year, one a year, one a week. Actually, I mean, last December I didn't release it one a week. It's more one a day, but we're gonna count it as 52 because there was a it's roughly when I started doing these, and there were several weeks where I didn't release any at all. So now we have a new rating, new grading for these. So these are I've got some special ones, some quite known ones. Historically, two of my favourites. I'm gonna see if that's changed, which gonna be a little bit contentious with one of them. The other one, Hoegarden. So Guinness and Hoegarden. Let's see. It's going to be two completely different tastes. But yeah, you're going to get two for the price of one here. As always, opening. Right. We're going to get there. I start pouring now. So I don't need to introduce this. I don't need to talk about this. We already know this. It's this for those of you that don't know, this is you know, so I had to clear my throat there. This is what in Ireland they call water. This is Ireland's version of water, as in, like this is what they drink. Although I guess some Irish people will probably and rightfully so debate that actually they drink it. But I think this is like the quintessential. This is the stereotype drink. It's it's one of the most known beers in the world for good reason. I actually really like it, but how does it rank? Um, St. James Gate Craft Stout. Hmm. For me, this beer is unlike anything else in the world. I I have never found a beer that's anywhere close to being like a Guinness, and it's not really sparkling, and I think that's another like big difference because a lot of beers are like kind of sparkling, and at least it's carbonated in some way. Guinness kind of not so much. 4.2%. Now I have to try these as if I've never had them before. Don't know how I'm gonna do that. Also, the famous Guinness pour. Let me tell you, if you're pouring it from a can, there is no such thing as the famous Guinness pour. Famous Guinness pour is when you're pouring it at a bar. Um, from a can is incredibly easy to pour without head. So Now, I will say, it is kind of watery. It's the thing with this is that it's very smooth. It is. I would say it's one of the smoothest beers like I've ever had. One of the smoothest ones. It's a 4.2%. You can get a 7.6, I think, which I've had before. Which I can say, you don't really notice too much difference in the taste. It's a little bit stronger, but the taste doesn't get altered that much, if at all. Um, yeah, this is like it's so easy. It's like so nice, but I can't really describe the flavor that much. Like, I guess the best way to say it, honestly, yeah, it's a draft stout. That's kind of what it is. um, how I can really describe it any more than that. Um, look, this is okay. So this is the problem with trying a Guinness on a video or a review. You can't get across the taste. You can't put that taste across. The only way that you can explain the taste is by saying, "Here, have some." It's literally the only way that you can describe it. So, yes, yeah. Should I got more fun? Okay, so see, I thought I was going to grade this lower. I thought I was going to grade this really low, because it is a little bit watery, and I often downgrade a lot of them based on wateriness, but it's just the smoothness. There's there's no sharp. There's absolutely no sharp taste. No sour taste. Sweet taste. It's bitter, but like not too bitter. It's not that bitter, and it's not the sharp kind of bitter. So nice. Oh yeah, I have to give it a grade. I mean, this is based on my opinions. This is me giving a grade. It's based on my opinions, and I can't let other people influence me. I know some beer nerds in America that I think that Guinness is Guinness, and they'll rate it lower than average because, and I'm not sure why. It's like I think it's because it doesn't stand out. There's nothing extraordinary about. But I disagree. I disagree. Um, I would say this is really stands out is how smooth it is. This is so nice. Honestly, this is so smooth that you could probably use it as a mixer for something. By the way, if anyone's if anyone hasn't ever had an Irish slammer, okay, let me explain. Right, Irish slammer is um So basically, I think it's how do you do it? I think it's like you get like Guinness and you fill it up with I don't know what's in the small cup. It's either Bailey's or Jameson. And these are all Irish stuff. So and then you drop it in. But the problem is it curdles. So like you have to drink it really fast. Right. Gonna give my opinion on that. Don't ever fucking try that because it is absolutely disgusting. Do not ever do an Irish Slammer. Um, but forget the alcohol poisoning you're going to get after it, by the way. But it's don't. It's disgusting. just don't. Just don't. But I don't actually. I have to try Guinness and JMO someday. Like a little bit of JMO, some Guinness in as the mixer. I have to try that one day. So I'm okay. I'm honestly right. I need to give a grade. I'm going to give it a 7.6 out of 10, and this is one of the highest grades I've given a beer so far, and it is in my top five. I think, but I don't I don't know how many eights I've given. I've probably given a few eights. You didn't just see me turn on my fan. A little bit warm. Right. Next we have Hoegarden. Now, Hoegarden is very difficult to place. See here, naturally cloudy. It's a 4.9% out of 10. And why does this one stand out? Because this has historically been one of my favorite ones. Even though it's got a little bit of hops in. A bit hoppy. So there is that. And it's I find it really, really difficult to place this, and I find it really difficult to like even describe this. But we're gonna give it a try. Um, so I'm gonna show off the can in its full entirety. It's meant to be served cold. It is served cold. I don't know how Guinness is meant to be served. Honestly, like Guinness doesn't have to be cold, in my opinion. What do they recommend? Um, honestly, it doesn't. It doesn't say. It doesn't say how it's best served. So I'm gonna say like honestly, like Guinness can be served. Guinness should honestly probably be served at room temperature. It's not a beer that you want really served cold. And when you get off the pump, like it's not gonna be cold. It's gonna be like lukewarm. And honestly, I think it's fine for that. However, Hoegaarden, I can see that best served cold. Um, so yeah, it does say naturally cloudy, so this will be cloudy. Um, however, I'll make it a little bit more cloudy than it needs to be. Red. Okay, so I'll pour this and then whilst we're waiting for the head, we'll discuss the year actually. Actually, yeah, I should probably take these 12-month anniversaries, like the beer reviews, as a way to kind of assess the year and talk about how the year's gone. Um, Not too much head, thankfully. So yeah, it's been 12 months since the first beer reviews, and I don't know how it's worked out like that because I took a break from them, and I did like 25 of them in December last year. So, uh, weird, including the Christmas one. By the way, if you saw last year's Christmas beer review, so okay, now you saw me pouring JMO in that glass. Yes, you did see me pouring JMO. However, there was a cut in the video. Um, that was not JMO that I drank. That was like a few drops of JMO before and then a few drops after. What I actually drank there was apple juice. See, I cut when I was pouring very finely, and then whilst the video was paused, I just filled it up with apple juice. And I love apple juice, so it's like it was so easy to just down that. So yeah, that's I guess spoiling what happened on that video. Um, I don't know if there's going to be a Christmas special this year, considering there's an anniversary special. Maybe there'll be a Christmas special. Oh, okay. Look. If I do a Christmas special, it has to be something that isn't beer. Well, it has to be something that can be a little bit of a skit. And this is kind of a cop out because you're seeing this on maybe like the week or 2 weeks before Christmas. So, interesting. Actually, I'm recording this like the Monday before Thanksgiving in America. So, happy late Thanksgiving, Americans, American friends. To speak of America, I think that's where we have to really start talking about how my year's gone. So the first half of the year, nothing big happened, except I found out that my sister was having a baby. So other than that, nothing big really happened in the first half of the year, and it was all like everything that happened at the start of the year was building up to what I knew the second half of the year would be, and so literally day one of the second half of the year, 1st of July, I was in America. Um, holiday of my dreams. Honestly, trip of a lifetime. Except it's not going to be the trip of a lifetime because I'm going back. And I plan to go back every 2 years. Not just in 2 years, but every 2 years. Um, I have to do that again. I can't not have that in my life. I can't not have those experiences in my life as often as financially I can. So, no advantage of not having uh, a wife or kids, basically, is what I'm saying. Um, however, the problem is going to be my fish. I do need to make sure there is someone to look after my fish once I'm gone. Um, especially once I have my house built, which I think that's what I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna go with that. Like get them on to get the house built, so it'll be built in exactly the way that I want it built. So that's good. And then so I saw orcas for the first time in my life. Like the high of that still hasn't faded. The gravity of what I experienced in July, and you know, that's not even it. That's not even all. Because after that, I saw my best friends in the world. Um, after seeing my spirit animal, and like to see my best friends in the world after having a holiday that saw my dreams realized was amazing. It was amazing. No other word for it. I honestly, like, even if I go back again, it's like I might feel close to what I felt this year, but I never feel that again. No, never, because that was the first time I did it. First time I did. And plus, I don't think I'll ever get that close to Norca in my life again. Granted, like, you guys saw the video, like, that was like less than a meter away. Like, I'm telling you, I could stretch out my arm and touch the dorsal fin. But she went under the boat. Um, but I'm a little bit responsible when it comes to marine animals. I know I shouldn't. Not because I'm scared of the orcas. No, absolutely not. No, it's because I know that humans have bacteria that can be quite bad for wild animals, particularly cetaceans. You're not meant to touch orcas. Even even those that rescue orcas that have been stranded or dolphins that have been stranded, try and avoid touching with their bare hands. And it's not because they think they'll catch something from the dolphins, it's because they're worried that the dolphin's going to catch something from them. Now, if you're worried about catching something from the dolphin, you basically don't stay near the blowhole at all. That's how you get zoonotic diseases. But yeah, and then my sister had a baby, so I'm an uncle, and it's like I want to spoil my niece. I, I've still not physically seen her, but like one day, one day I will. That'll be a moment. Um, yeah, it's see, I would say, like, I want to say this year has been the best year of my life. But then there is one thing. There is one thing is that um, this year was the first year of my life where I haven't seen my sister. I haven't seen my sister all year, and you know, like growing up with a sibling, with your only sibling, um, and you were going through school together. You were in the same school at some points as well, and and all your life you have done things kind of together, and and we even went to the same university, and not at the same time, not together, but we both went to the same uni. Yeah, it's like, oh, 29 years. 29 years. We've always always seen each other minimum like once every 3 months. Like that's like that's like the most amount of time we've ever not seen each other. And this year, this year, I mean, it's close to a year and a half now. I'm excited to see her again. Okay, Okay, this is going to be very different to Guinness. This smells very hoppy. It smells very fresh. It's very soury bittery. And it does actually taste more hoppy than I remember it. Now this isn't an IPA. Um, it is as you can see from the fact that it's cloudy. It is um, less filtered. Yeah, this is going to be the one that's a little bit different than what I previously. I think this is the one that's a little bit different. I think. Um, you know, this year has been well. This year has been like a fantastic exercise of one thing in particular. Um, and it's how much of a difference to your life it can make to have something that you're looking forward to. Because so the first 4 or 5 months, um, I I had my holiday to America completely almost completely booked. I was still booking some things in February and March. And so I was like kind of stressing, make sure like I've not forgotten something important. And I don't think I did forget anything important, actually. I actually didn't forget anything. I don't. Oh no, I did forget something. I did forget something, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't like something major, but it's like something I knew, like I'm definitely taking next time. Um, yes, medication. By medication, I don't mean like medication. I mean medical supplies, like antiseptic cream. Because I did this in July. I still have it in almost December. I'm gonna have that for a long time. That scar. That was like the day where I fell over. Like the second day I was there, I fell over that day. Like I tripped on the pavement. The pavement was raised. I tripped on it, splatted onto the pavement head first. I should add. And you know, the second the second my face splattered on the pavement, one thought went through my head. Like this is the first. The thought was, this is the day I'm going to see orchids for the first time in my life. Because I knew, look, a day's got to start shit to balance out later on. So that's like the day starting shit. Me splatting the pavement, and then that's like, okay, that gives me an anecdote to tell of the day that I finally realized my dreams. And lo and behold, it's that very same day that we saw the T65Bs. I remember exactly what pod was my first orcas. big thing for me. But yeah, so I was I was honestly breaking it. I was breaking it. I was like super nervous. I was very anxious um about going. Like, because I've never been to another continent on my own before. Like completely on my own. And it's like not just another continent, but the opposite side of the world to anyone that I knew. Honestly, the closest person that I actually knew there was Brandito, who lived over 1,000 kilometers away in Canada. So that was quite interesting. And but then I know exactly the point where that stopped being me breaking it and nervous about it to me just being plain freaking excited about it. And it was the point where I looked on Street View because like I like to know things in advance. So I looked on Street View and I went down the town like to see the way from the airport to my hotel, and then the way from my hotel to the whale watching place. So I kind of wanted to know that because I wasn't going to get time on that first day to really look for where it is, because I like the first full day I was there, I was on a boat in the morning. So I managed to find that, and like whilst I was there, I'm like, oh my god, yes, yes, yeah, this is so the place I want to visit. It's like, oh, and I was so excited at that point, and not even a really long flight, which was uncomfortable, could really like dampen my spirits. I arrived there with a massive smile on my face, and like I was the happiest I've ever been through my entire holiday there, and I, like I was even nice to the TSA people, and I'm like, look, there's. I remember this woman. This is when I was going from Seattle to Newark, and there was this woman. I was like, take your shoes off, put everything in the trash. It looked like she was fed up. Like it looked like she was fed up of her day because she's like telling people the same things. And I did everything right, and and she's like, "Oh, finally someone that gets it right." And I'm just like, dude, you're just doing your job. Like the least people can do is make it easier for you. And honestly, if more people thought that way in life, like it would be better for everyone. Fortunately, some people don't think like that. And hey, my mindset was like, I've just had the holiday of a lifetime. Look, I'm not gonna make anything difficult for anyone. And and yeah, so when I was there, it's like when I was actually in Friday Harbor itself, it's like I got everyone was just so nice. Everyone treated me so well. It's like, and even my first night in America, I was in Seattle, Georgetown, and the only place I found to eat was a bar, and they did a hot dog. So it's like, I had hot dog. So I was like, okay, you know, I need to eat something. Hot dog. I'll have a Guinness. Um, I got ID'd the first time in like I want to say 10, 12 years. First time I got ID'd. Apparently that's a big deal. Okay, I actually got ID'd. That's interesting. Like, I I I know. Okay, I know the age in America is 21. I'd like to think I at least look in my late 20s, even though I'm in my 30s. And yeah, that's funny. I, I ordered one of these as well. I had a Guinness there because I mean they serve Guinness, so I'll have a Guinness. And like I was so happy. It's like it, I would have been intimidated by the very rough-looking crowd if I wasn't on like the biggest high ever, like high on life. And yeah, and then once I got to Friday Hub, everyone was just so nice, so welcoming, and it's like I can't believe how friendly people are. Like you pass someone on the street and they say hi to you, and I look this happens in France as well, but not as often as in America, and it's like not everyone says hi to each other. Um, in France, but like everyone you meet on the street, like in Friday Harbor, will say hi to you, and like you'll say hi back. And I mean, I guess they'll say it in a different way. They'll say, "How are you doing?" or "How's it going?" That's a way of that's their way of saying hello over there. As I've learned, and yeah, got ID'd on all the supermarkets as well. So that was funny. Um, and it was especially funny because like I could speak perfect English, had a British accent. They ID me, I show a French passport. And like, oh, how do I know which one's your date of birth? I'm like, look, it's that one. It's the one that says I'm old enough to buy this. Oh, but yeah, that was so funny. But like in the restaurants as well, like the restaurants were like I know why like waiters go above and beyond in restaurants in America, and it's the reason why is maybe not something I fully agree with being a thing. In fact, it's something I definitely don't agree with being a thing. Um, it's because of tips, and you might think, okay, if you don't know this, like if you don't know what like why tips are such a big thing, um, it's so let me explain before you judge why I don't like how tipping works in America. So in Europe, you rarely tip. You tip if it's absolutely outstanding service. Otherwise, you don't tip at all. In America, you're expected to tip with everything, unless you had like the most horrid experience ever. Then you won't tip. But like you're expected to tip based on how good service was, right? And it's this kind of like with all service industries. And I'm like, look, okay, I'm okay with this, I'm okay with this, but shouldn't be shoved in your face. And then I found out why this is kind of shoved in your face. Um, because so these tips, you'd think tips will go to the waiters and waitresses like directly, like if they've done a good job. But some places, this is probably not all places. Some places will actually underpay their waiters and waitresses because it's like a minimum wage or something. But they'll pay them less, and then whatever they make from tips up to that minimum, Like that's what they get to the minimum. But if they get no tips at all, then the employer has to actually pay them up to the minimum. So basically, it means like if they're paid $3 an hour, and like the minimum's $10 an hour, if they get $7 tips per hour, they're basically getting no tips because like they'll be paid that much anyway. Just it'll come out of the actual like restaurant. We'll have to pay them the supplementary. So it's like they won't even really get those tips unless they reach a certain threshold, which I think is kind of not the it's not the right reason to have tipping. And then but then there's some places where you kind of think that's the case, but it's not. And it's the problem is like how do you know? How do you know if like if I don't tip well, are these people getting their fair wage or not? If they're getting their fair wage, I feel I feel more okay tipping, honestly. If I know they're getting their fair wage, I feel more okay giving extra. If they're not getting their fair wage, without tips, then I'm kind of like, I kind of don't want to tip because then their employer still has to pay them that minimum wage anyway. If I tip, I want that money to go to the person I'm tipping. If that makes sense. Guys, if you guys will live in America, like, let me know. Let's open a discussion. What do you think about this whole system? Give me. Okay, so due to limited time I have, I'm actually going to grade this before I actually finish it, and I've already got my grade. Um, Look, this used to be one of my favorites. It's for now. It's like it's too hoppy. It's too hoppy for me, and it's not something I can enjoy as much as I used to. In fact, it's kind of a bit of a struggle to drink at the moment. That might be because I had a Guinness immediately before. But uh, look, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give this a 5.1 out of 10. Is that too generous? I'm gonna give it a 5.1 because it's like the taste is you want this to be your first bit and then you want to switch something else. Basically, it's too hoppy for me. It's That's just my palate. I can't judge on any other palate. This is too hoppy for me. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you for 52 Cravsmas videos. Thank you for sticking along, and cheers. Here's to the next